Hello, I'm Mike.
And I'm Rich.
And today we have a special guest with us. Why, it's our old friend Freddie Williams, comic book artist.
How's it going, guys?
Good. Hi, Freddie.
And Freddie is here to talk about a movie that I think is a favorite of all of ours.
That's true.
It's a 1990s made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, based on a comic book.
Yes, yes.
That's right. And we don't usually talk about 1990s made-for-TV movies that never aired, but today we are. It's Horse Ninja on this episode of Review.
Well, we should probably give a little bit of backstory here, because I imagine most people just aren't familiar with Horse Ninja.
Well, yeah, they're not familiar with it because the TV movie never aired. But first, it was a comic. And I actually have the very first issue right here. Horse
Nice.
Ninja #1.
Yeah.
So Freddie, tell us all about the comic.
Yes, Horse Ninja the comic was made by Kevin Laird and Peter Eastman.
Aren't those the Ninja Turtle guys?
Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, they created the Ninja Turtles. But oddly, they each had a brother, a little less successful, that had the same name as their opposite partner.
That's really, really confusing.
Kevin Laird and Peter Eastman, they were a little jealous. I'm being presumptuous here, but they were a little jealous of their brother's success. I mean, Ninja Turtles got huge. So Kevin Laird and Peter Eastman decided to create their own comic book, which had like the same themes, like Ninja Turtles superpower stuff. So,
But it's a horse and not a turtle.
Well, the similarities don't end there. The Ninja Turtles were, of course, trained by a mutated sewer rat named Splinter, and Horse Ninja was trained by a mutated jockey, who is actually just a human-size jockey after he's mutated.
yeah, he went from being small and mutated big to a regular sized jockey. The comic book was actually pretty decent. It had kind of a cult following.
Yeah, I've never read it, actually. You've read it.
I've read every issue. It was actually really good. I think they just jumped the gun too soon with the TV show. They only had like, was it 6 issues? Even it was like 5, I think, when they started making the TV movie.
Well, it was, okay, yeah, at the time that they made the TV movie, it was 5. There's a 6th one later.
And then the movie actually torpedoed the whole franchise. It just kind of petered out after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why they were trying to do that. I mean, it was the 90s. Comic books were fucking huge, and they were trying to cash in on the success that everyone else in Image Comics was having.
I'm so glad we're talking about this film on Review, because so many people out there need to see it.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, a lot of people don't know about it because I think mainly it shows up occasionally at conventions.
Yeah.
Like,
We used to see it a lot more like 15 years ago. I see less of it now. I'm not sure why that is.
yeah, I mean, it would show up at conventions like at the bootleg tables that you sometimes run across, but people just don't know about it. So I think it's kind of like supply and demand. Like, if you're not selling the one copy you have, you just don't bring it again or something like that.
If you want to get to the boss, you gotta go through me.
From what I recall, he went and kicked people a lot.
Well, he doesn't actually talk because they couldn't get like a mask with the mouth that moved.
Yeah. Well, you could hear the actor inside the mask going, and they just left it in.
That's right, Mikulski. Meet me at the docks tonight, midnight. Don't bring any of your men.
Yeah, there was like something weird with the audio where they didn't like drop out the audio and then ADR it with sound effects.
Just me and you. Mano y Horso.
Actually, It wasn't the final voice, though, because it's an unaired pilot. They never finished it. I think originally it was going to be Malcolm McDowell as the voice.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a pilot. It was just a singular TV movie.
But they never finished
They
it.
never finished the post-production.
Right. I think that the intent, though, was to make it like a backdoor pilot, so to speak, where if, based on its success, they might go to the big screen or maybe a series of television. Right. Yeah.
It's a full-length movie, and it's amazing.
I actually grew up with the bootleg.
Really?
I always used to want to find the horse ninja toys. I always looked in the stores. I could never find them. My mother had to tell me that they never released the movie. There are no toys. And Jesus, it was like she told me Santa Claus wasn't real all over again.
In the movie, the plot is that the mob has a canister of depleted uranium, and they want to sell it to terrorists. So they decide to do this this exchange at a horse track for no reason, and the FBI is clued in on this or tipped off, whatever. So there's this whole thing, and there's going to be this exchange, and then there's like this fight and some gunshots, and everyone's running, and somehow the canister of uranium flies into the horse track, like right as they're about to start the horse race.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little while since I've seen it, but I remember it being pretty artistic, actually, where there was like this really cool fight scene kind of intercut with slow-mo shots of the horse track, like the horse race as it was getting started.
Yeah, the horse is kicking in the dirt. You see Horse Ninja before he's the Horse Ninja.
It's just a horse.
Yeah. What was his horse name? Do you remember?
I think it was Shinobi's Way.
Oh my God.
Like a geek, I know these things.
Yeah, I mean, it looks better in the comic, like whatever, but when you say it out loud, it does.
Well, the origin was different in the comics. In the origin, it was just like a horse that got possessed by the spirit of an ancient ninja.
Yes.
There was a magic statue. It was a magic dragon statue that summoned the spirit.
Right.
But instead, for some reason, they changed everything when they did the TV movie of the week and they did this mobster story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they wanted to make it closer. The whole thing with the canister and everything, it made it closer in some ways to the Ninja Turtle origin. I think that was probably their goal.
That's the weird thing, is that he's just a man with a horse mask. He does, like in the comic, it looks like a horse. He has the giant, he has the body structure of the horse. He has the legs and the hooves and all that. But
and the mutated jockey trained him.
Yes.
But here he just rises from the rubble, and he's a horse ninja.
Right, which is just a guy in a mask.
They were very nervous, the studios, about having a love interest between, like a human woman and a horse.
Right, but he's human on the bottom half.
They did the smart thing by casting Sarah Jessica Parker.
Well, one of the problems was when they put up the casting call out, love interest for a horse, a lot of sketchy ladies showed up.
There was even that, I heard a rumor that on the set there was there was an argument that happened where the casting director didn't realize that they had already put someone in makeup, because when Sarah Jessica Parker walked in, they thought the makeup was finalized, right?
Do I really have a face like a horse?
In the comic book, they did a little bit of urban, New York City street crime stuff, but they're usually going off on some kind of mystical adventures, like he visits Shangri-La, the spirit realm, and then he gets into a fight with the ancients.
Yeah, but with the budget that they had in the made-for-TV movie, I mean, you can't really blame them that they couldn't do that kind of stuff, but what they did was a lot worse.
Horse Ninja, you're under arrest!
Yeah, I think he pushed a guy down the stairs, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the most exciting thing that happened.
That you clearly see one of the lights fall into the shot.
Yes, and that's better than gym shoes on Zat. Well, let's talk about the ending of the TV movie, which is wonderfully bad. When Horse Ninja steps on the horseshoe, he's compelled to go to the glue factory where the mob has set up this scientific device that will extract the uranium
back out from him.
From the Horse Ninja's genitals.
Yeah.
basically the resolution that you think you're going to get is that Horse Ninja steps on the his kryptonite, basically this horseshoe, and he's going to go to the warehouse, and then there's supposed to be this big spectacular fight scene.
Yes.
Right. But instead,
they apparently never shot the fight scene, ran out of money, the production ended. So they take what happened earlier. Suddenly the end of the movie is that scene, but they flip the footage to reuse it.
If you want to get to the boss, you gotta go through me.
What did this guy go on to do anything else, or?
I mean, there's rumors about it because, like, the original footage that actually showed his real face was lost. I don't think that was ever preserved. So the only footage we have of him is as the horse head is covering it.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't actually know who he is. I think he's credited just as Horse Ninja.
Well, I wonder where he is.
I've heard it was actually Vin Diesel. He doesn't want to say anything about it. He's a little bit embarrassed about being in Horse Ninja, but that was actually, I think, Vin Diesel's like first on-screen performance. They hushed that one up.
So the movie obviously never aired. What happened? Like, the comic line, did it continue? Or?
Well, the creators of Kevin Laird and Peter Eastman, they were so focused on trying to salvage this movie behind the scenes that they kind of just let the comic fall to the wayside.
Yeah, what cult fan following they had started to wane greatly after the rumors of this had gotten out and the bootleg had leaked.
Yeah.
It was canceled by issue 9.
Yeah, there were some like kind of pathetic attempts at like crossovers and stuff to revitalize it, right?
Yeah, they tried to revitalize it by having a Horse Ninja versus Predator.
Yeah, and Horse Ninja and Archie, where it was like a very cartoony art style. And eventually, you know, Kevin Laird and Peter Eastman just kind of faded into obscurity. I mean, so we can all agree that the movie, you know, has its problems, but I think we're all thankful that it did get leaked and became a bootleg, because without it, we would be missing one of our favorite movie moments that we've ever seen.
And I think we all know what scene we're talking about.